Treasury Secretary Jack Lew calling on Congress to crack down on tax inversions. He wants, quote, a new sense of economic patriotism. Essentially, he wants to prevent companies from going overseas for tax purposes. Senator Orrin Hatch joins us now from Capitol Hill. Senator, it seems to me that the great divide in American politics today is taxes. On the left, they wouldn't be caught dead cutting any tax. On the right, you want to cut them all. Is that right?
No, that's not quite right, but we do want to have a tax system that works. Think about this. The chairman of the Ways and Means Committee, Dave Camp, came up with a tax bill. The administration said it's dead on arrival. So did the Democrats. Senator Baucus worked, we had 30 hearings on reforming our tax code, which is what's causing a lot of these inversions, because we have the highest corporate tax system in the world with regard to developed nations. And that's why companies are looking overseas and their fiduciary obligation to make things work for their taxpayers. And we should be doing everything in our power to make it attractive to keep our companies here. But our tax code is bloated, it's out of control, it doesn't work anymore. We can't get any help from the administration. I made 5 recommendations here a year and a half ago to the administration, most of which have been supported by Democrats in the past. I haven't even received a response to those recommendations. The fact is, this administration is not doing what it should do, and I find it kind of contemptible that the Treasury Secretary would talk about economic patriotism when what they're doing is destroying our country.
There's $2.1 trillion stashed overseas by American corporations. It doesn't come back here because if it did, it would be taxed at a 35% rate.
Actually higher than that.
Yeah, when you throw in local estate taxes as well. So it doesn't come back here. Couldn't you have a one-off shot, a one-off move, a single bill that says we'll cut the corporate tax rate to whatever is necessary, 20–25%, to bring some of that money back home? Couldn't we do that as a one-off shot?
We can't get the administration to even suggest that. I mean, in all honesty, we have an administration that's doing basically nothing, and then they're blaming Congress for it. When they make it almost impossible. We have to have leadership from the White House in order to be able to do major tax reform. I know this, that Chairman Wyden is interested in getting it done. I'm interested in getting it done. But without the White House weighing in, it isn't going to work. And for them to talk about inversion, my gosh, they've done everything in their, well, I shouldn't say they've done everything in their power, but they haven't done what they can do to provide an economic climate here where companies want to stay here. No, they're pushing them offshore because of the highest corporate tax rate in the world and because they're unwilling to sit down and work with Congress and get these matters straightened out. Yeah, I'd like to get that corporate tax rate down to 25%, but that's not all that has to be done. There have to be other things as well.
Now, there's been a spate of these inversions, American companies leaving for lower taxes overseas. There's a spate of these just recently. You think we're about to see a spike, a whole lot more of them leaving and going overseas?
Oh, I know there are a lot of companies that are thinking of going overseas because it's to their advantage to do so, and they have a fiduciary obligation to their shareholders to do the best they can to augment the businesses. And we're doing everything in this country because of a lack of leadership, not just in the White House, but Congress itself. We're doing everything in this country to make it so they will go overseas. And what's the answer to it? The Democrats want to put a patch on it to force them to stay here, when in fact that just means that they will go overseas and they'll be acquired by foreign corporations so that they can make their corporations work. I'll tell you, it's pathetic. We have no economic leadership in the White House, very little in the Congress, certainly in the Senate, and we would do a lot of things. Dave Camp worked assiduously on this. Baucus, who was chairman of the Finance Committee, I was ranking member, he worked very, very hard, and they just basically ignored everything he did.
Senator Orrin Hatch, a man of restraint who yet rarely uses the word pathetic, but you just did. Senator, a pleasure.
That's right.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Pleasure to be with you.